So now we have an interface in place looking very simple, and I want to try and now show you how you can use a generic interface to make our first real manager, the person manager. Yes. So what I want to do first is, over here I'm going to start out by adding a new folder because I want to have a folder for managers as well. Now this is very team specific. You can discuss with your team how you want things set up. I'm kind of into this where you have a list, sorry, let's call it managers. You have a folder for managers, a folder for entities. You could do it differently, it's up to you. I really think that's something you should discuss with your team. So when we have the managers folder ready, let's right click this guy and say add, and add a new class. And it's now we're going to start using, actually implementing this interface. Now remember, last time I talked about we just made a contract, but now we need to make an actual implementation of how this should work for this specific implementation of this specific interface. So let me try and show you what I mean. Here's the class. And I want to call this class the person, and then this is going to be my list manager because it's going to be just storing things in a static list still. No, we are not going to use the database yet, it will come, but now we're just going to copy the code from the old solution to the new solution. So it's just going to still store things in a static list. Very simple stuff. So let's just call it person list manager, and let's say add here, and it'll power with this new guy. Now the person list manager has to extend now. He has to extend my iManager, right? And then he has to tell the iManager that this type, this specific person list manager, I want him to actually implement a person. So now we're going from a generic iManager into a specific person list manager class, and I want very specifically to explain to him that now we're actually talking about persons and not just any generic type. So I'm going to ask the bulb here to implement the missing members, and you'll see now all the methods that we had before are showing up again from the interface, but instead of saying T and T and T, it's saying person all the way. So let me finish, and Gashumi, you have person, create person, you have person, read, you have person, person, person all the way down. So notice the interface, which is just specifying the contract, has now actually turned into an actual implementation that's person specific instead of very generic with a T. It's actually person specific now. So let's save this, and there you go. Now you made your first person list manager, and to be honest, I'm going to keep this guy internal because I do not want to share this with the other project. Meaning right now I can't use this person list manager inside my person controller because it's an internal class, and I'll show you later how we can make it public, and I'll also explain why it's important not to make it public. Well, let me just right away say, let's just make it public, just to show you this. So let's say I made it public. Happy days. Now I went into my person controller and I said, okay, so now since I have a person list manager, I can use him here. PL equals new person list manager. There we go. That wasn't what I wanted. Let's try and do it the right way. New person list manager. There we go. So now we have the person list manager, and I can start using him, but there will be a problem later on if I want to switch him out into being another implementation, right? If I want this to not be a person list manager anymore, but a person entity framework manager or a person database manager or something else, then I need to now go into the code and change the person list manager everywhere. We have to figure out a better way to do this by adding a facade, which is what we're going to do in the next lesson. See you next time.